victory, and we are celebrating the Broncos making it to the playoffs on today's show, and we got a special guest joining us today. You want to stay tuned for that, a Super Bowl winner himself, and then we're diving into the inside scoop with Todd, and it all starts now. Say it with me, boys. The Broncos are back, baby, and they're back better than ever, making the playoffs for the first time since we've been saying that, the first time since we've been doing the DNVR Broncos show, and man, they are back, baby, back officially in the playoffs, and we are back on the DNVR Broncos podcast. We've got an extra special week for you guys, and we're going to be rocking and rolling with Super Bowl 50 champ Todd Davis, Henry Chisholm, special whole week guest Ryan Koenigsberg, rocking and rolling with us today. We got you here behind the camera. Yours truly, Zach Stevens, rocking and rolling with you today. Guys, it's been 3,200 days since the Broncos have been in the playoffs. Like I said earlier, the Broncos have never made the playoffs when this show has been in existence. We've been from broom closets doing this show to now we're at the top of a bar, and the Broncos are making their way up. And boy, does it feel good.
Feels great, man. You just wake up today, you open Twitter, you look around, and it's like, this guy's fired. This team's trying to get rid of their quarterback. This team doesn't know what they're doing. This guy's getting interviewed, and it's just like, man, feels so good for once to not be a part of that. No head coach search, no quarterback search, no ownership search, just football. It's just about football for the Denver Broncos right now, and obviously they're playing with house money going into this week, but God, it's nice to just the regular season's over, and we're still talking about football.
The one news that came out this morning is the Jets put in a request to interview Vance Joseph for their head coaching job. That's when you officially know you're back, is when you're not firing coaches. You might lose coaches because you're so damn good that other teams want them. So what a turnaround for this team in the past really 18 months since Sean's been here. It's less than 2 years, and they have hit every single goal that they wanted. That that losing streak against the Chiefs, 16 games, busted. That 8-game losing streak against the Raiders, busted. That not making the playoffs for 8 years, gone. And the losing streak that the Broncos had for 7 years, gone as well. All the sins are gone.
All the sins are gone and all is forgiven. I got to say, I feel spoiled. I mean, I definitely came here at a great time. No broom closet. We've been at the DNVR bar, which is fantastic. I hope I don't get too spoiled. Second year here, we make the playoffs. Second year in the league, we win the Super Bowl.
Hey.
I think it's just good things happening, So I'm just happy to be here. It's a good year. And I hope the Broncos can shock the world on Sunday.
I see the similarities, Todd. Let's keep those good vibes rolling. Henry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I haven't been on a show with RK since
way too long.
The draft, maybe?
Probably, yes.
Probably the draft.
Also, we should probably just address this, get it out of the way right now.
Yeah. We look a little coordinated.
We look like we matched our outfits.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
It makes it way worse that we're also sharing a couch.
Oh, yeah.
If I was on the other side, it probably wouldn't be as noticeable, but this is kind of awkward.
Well, and I was going to wear like an Avs hat or something. But then I was going to be on the all city, all NFL show later on. So I was like, I want to wear the Nuggets hat. Like it kind of pops a little bit.
Yeah.
But your hat pops a little bit too.
I never wear hats. I was actually supposed to get a haircut today. But then when I committed to doing this show, that took place in my haircut. So I had to move my haircut. And then I thought the show was at 10 a.m. because it always is. So then I finished a workout and I didn't even have time to do anything with my hair. So I just threw on a hat and all of that results in this.
It is kind of crazy. You just kind of replace me on Thursdays, and then we show up looking like the same guy.
Yes.
That was weird.
I mean, if you're gonna wear black and gold, you're gonna look like Ryan. And so Henry, you're going with the all black today.
Yep.
You're looking extra like Ryan. I was thinking.
I don't look like Ryan. I'm wearing black.
Yeah, you look like Ryan. I get you guys confused sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're just missing the
I
white
wanted to be in the group.
If you had the white hat,
I got
you
a
look
hat
just
on.
like us.
I got on all black.
It's really true. Jeez, I'm the only one that did get the memo of all black. I did go with the black bottoms. But
Those are great.
Those are great.
Also, let's go with pants.
these
right?
are black.
No,
Those aren't
Zach,
even
those
close
are
to
great.
black, bro.
They're not even close.
Oh
No.
my gosh, you guys are like my wife. She sees these as not black either. I don't
She
even
has
know what you
eyes.
guys are talking about.
They might be the glasses.
Oh my god, no! I tell you, without the glasses,
I mean,
they're black
especially
as
when
well.
you see all of us wearing black.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
You
Accentuates
can't
how
even
gray
tell the
those are.
difference on the screen. What are you talking about?
Okay, we've learned that Zach is colorblind.
Yeah.
It took, what, 8 years of the show to
Yes.
finally figure that out? But we did. So, guys, the Broncos coming off a dominant victory. I mean, you can't have a more dominant win heading into the playoffs yesterday. Todd's going to dive into the film to see where the Broncos can kind of capitalize on the field and use that against the Bills next week in the playoffs. But I wanted to kind of do a vibe check. Do you guys think that a 38-0 win, yes, against backups, so that comes into the equation, but a shutout on defense, you couldn't have been better on offense. You scored every single time you had the ball in the first half, 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal. Do you guys think that that can carry over and kind of have some momentum going into the playoffs next week?
I absolutely think it does. I mean, if we look at the preseason, I think that winning in a convincing manner in the preseason carries over to the regular season. And I think it's the same way here, where the Broncos were able to put together a really good win yesterday, played great offensively, defensively. They just really looked like they were clicking on all cylinders. It doesn't matter who it is against. We talked a couple times. The last 2 weeks weren't our best outings. We had opportunities to win those games, but we didn't find a way to win. But this 38-point victory going into the playoffs is so needed for the confidence of this team. And I think the momentum of it will spill over at least into the first or 2 quarters of the next game.
Yeah, I think the momentum for the offense in particular will be good. I think just being able to be as sharp as they were.
Yeah.
Like Bo's just hitting every single pass, like everything's on time, everybody's right where they're supposed to be, just picking apart the defense. Sometimes teams get out of a rhythm, and I feel like that's kind of tough to get out of because I don't think that's something you can just fix in practice because you're not going full speed, like you're not facing real defenses. So to have that kind of feeling going into a new game where like you were just doing it. You're just doing exactly what you did before. Like you said, like that should carry over to the first quarter at least.
Yeah, I really think it does. And for me, I don't even know if you realize it as a player, but you just feel so good after you do that. And not only do you get a blowout win over a team that you hate, and like again, you know who it was against, but you saw their helmets, you saw the jerseys, you went up against the Chiefs yesterday, and Andy Reid was on the sideline. That feels good. And then no one's looking at the other team in the box score. You get home, you pull up the ESPN app or something, and you scroll, you're like, man, I had 98 yards, like that felt good, and a touchdown. You're Bo Nix, you're like, did I throw an incompletion today? Like, it just feels really good to do that. And you guys, experience this all the time. Doesn't matter who you played. The locker room after a win versus the locker room after a loss. It doesn't matter if you lost to the 10-time defending Super Bowl champions. It still sucks after a loss.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you beat Northern Colorado. It still feels better after a win. So the confidence is there. The vibes are there. The momentum is there. And I think that absolutely carries over. Now, how long it carries over depends on how much you can make it last.
And I think Sean knows exactly which levers to pull. He's been in this situation before, and I think he is going to really feed into that with this team and make them believe what they saw yesterday wasn't just because it was a Chiefs team playing backups, that they can do this next week as well. And I think what was so big, Henry, you pointed to the offense. I think the defense, this was just as good as well. The defense had fallen off. If you just look at stats over the past month, they were giving up 27 points per game over the last month entering yesterday. Then they pitch a shutout. Then they get their juju back. Then Nick Bonito, who hasn't had a sack in a couple of games, goes out and gets 2.5 sacks yesterday, and he's feeling it. Again, Pat Surtain shuts down his guys. Riley Moss, were we talking about him having a tough day? No, he gets some swagger back as well. So I think, yes, it was against backups, but you can only beat who's out there, and the Broncos did that more than anyone's ever done that against Andy Reid. And you pointed to it, Ryan, you said Andy Reid's still on that other sideline. Andy Reid has been shut out once in his career with the Chiefs. That was yesterday. Andy Reid, the largest Chiefs loss in Broncos history was 35 points. Nope. Not after yesterday. 38 points, 38-0. So I think this is something that can carry over, and I absolutely love that the Broncos not just won this game. Look, it still would have been a win. They still would have been going into the playoffs if they won 17-16. But you go in with just blowing a team out and feeling so confident. It is awesome. Just like this week is going to be awesome. And speaking of awesome, we're about to have a guest on joining us in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to be having guests on all week. We hope to have current players, maybe guys in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation on as early as tomorrow, plus former Super Bowl 50 champions, maybe other Super Bowl champions as well. We've got a huge week planned for you guys. I am so excited for it. And we also have an extra show this week. We are doing a show on Friday just to celebrate how awesome this is. So here's our show, of course, today at 11 a.m. Every other day, we're going at 10 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bonus show on Friday. We're doing an extended pregame on Sunday, starting at 10 a.m., leading you up to the Broncos game at 11 a.m. We got so many treats up our sleeve for you guys because we are just as excited about this playoff run. Am I missing anything? You guys, anything else?
Maybe.
There might be a Saturday show, potentially.
Oh, okay.
We'll let the chat show us if they really want us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want a Saturday show.
Don't worry, we aren't roping you in, Todd.
Yeah. You saw my face. You saw the look on my face like, okay, I'll be watching on Saturday.
If you want to come to the bar and watch football.
No, Sean is on, though. Let him know.
Oh, okay,
Both
for sure. I'll
shots,
let him know.
Well, wait, actually, since I don't have to be committed to this, since I'm traveling out to Buffalo, let's do a 24-hour pregame starting Saturday at
sounds
11
good.
That
a.m.
actually could be kinda
going
fun.
all the way to Sunday at 11 a.m.
You don't want to do this to me and Henry because that just sounds fun to us.
Exactly. No, that's what we
I'm
live
down for it. I'll join on when I'm on the plane or something.
I just don't want to be super tired during the game.
I
is the
know.
thing.
Oh, that's the only thing, huh?
Yeah. I mean, what else am I going to do?
Todd will spell you for the night shift. Todd will take the night shift. You can go home and sleep.
How am
I'm
I
not
getting
going home.
roped into this?
Certainly
This
not
is
going
crazy.
home.
There also might be a watch along.
Well,
Might
I've
be a
seen,
watch along. Holy cow.
There's like Twitch streamers who make millions off of just streaming themselves sleep.
Yeah.
So we could probably just go
Really?
to bed.
Is that the
Who would
easiest way to
watch
make
that?
money?
Gotta be.
It's even better than like long snapper, backup quarterback,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
inside linebacker. It's
I
easier
think-
than
That's
that.
hard.
I think the concept is it helps other people sleep to see someone else sleeping.
That makes no sense.
'Cause your
you're
eyes are
not
closed.
sleeping.
Are you?
If you're watching someone else sleep, then you
but
are not
that
sleep.
makes them tired, I guess.
Are you sure this
That's
isn't a kink
crazy.
thing? It's
It
got to
could
be.
be.
It has.
could be.
That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, it's got to be. But we have a special guest joining us in just a minute, so I want to give a shout out to our friends over at HelloFresh, where if you want farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered straight to your doorstep, got to get over to HelloFresh because they have all of that. It's America's #1 meal kit. It's affordable. It makes cooking at home fun. I've done it many times. A big fan of it. And you get to choose exactly like what type of meals you're looking for. And they send you straight ingredients straight to your door that are fresh. If you're tired of figuring out what to have for dinner, you don't have to worry about that. They send the ingredients to you. You don't even have to go to the store or think about it. They have 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week delivered to your door. So much rotation, so you don't have to worry about that either. Meals are done in 15 minutes in just 3 simple steps. So you also, it takes the hassle out of making dinner and thinking about it. And if you want 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life, go to HelloFresh.com/Broncos10FM, standing for free meals. Broncos10FM over at HelloFresh.com/Broncos10FM to get 10 free meals and a high free protein item for life over at HelloFresh.com/Broncos10FM. Make sure to check them out. They are America's #1 meal kit.
Also, shout out to Coors Light. Zach loves Coors Light. That's why he's wearing the Coors Light sweatshirt today.
That is great.
And because he wanted to go gray on gray.
This is great. This is great. I
They're
agree
both
with
great.
you guys.
That's a
You're
grout
rocking a grout fit.
A grout fit.
I'm not rocking a grout fit.
Honestly, grout fits might be perfect for Coors Light Day. Sitting,
that's-
watching
that's a
sports
good
in your
point.
grout fit. Coors Light's the best. That's why we keep them on set. That's why we're going to be drinking a bunch of them this weekend, potentially all week. Obviously, I'm not going to Buffalo. Saturday, probably a bunch of Coors Lights.
Yeah.
Sunday, a bunch of Coors Lights. Just Coors Lights whenever you can think about Coors Lights. So we love them. They help support us. We appreciate that. And we'd also appreciate it if you check them out. You probably have already. But right now, if you want to have some Coors Lights, you can choose chill and get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Just go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up to get the offers. And also shout out to the Toyota Lounge. I was so busy off the top, didn't give a shout out to the Toyota Lounge inside the DNVR, driven by your local Toyota stores.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who does that when I'm really excited about something.
Oh my gosh, it happened. Big shows like this.
Yeah.
It is so exciting right now. And just great things for the Broncos right now, where you're getting head coach or coaches being asked to interview for head coaching jobs. Sean Payton just talked to media, and he said he's not concerned about that being a distraction to the team. The NFL has changed the rules a little bit, where you actually can't do in-person interviews for a couple of weeks into the playoffs, so it'll just be a Zoom interview. But really, really happy for Vance. And Sean also just said that he believes Vance will be a head coach someday.
I agree. Hopefully it's not New York. New York is cold as hell. But I do hope that he's a head coach one day. He's done a tremendous job with his defense, and he knows how to lead a group of men. Even I was talking to Vaughn yesterday, and he was just preaching how much he loved Vance. He's like, everybody knows I love Vance. Vance has been so important to him in his career, and I think he just leaves a lasting impact on the players he's coached. So he deserves to be a head coach. Hopefully it happens soon, and we'll see.
I want to say Vance, when he had a short stint in the NFL, played for the Jets.
I think that's right. I don't know if you want to be a head coach in that organization right now.
If that's
I mean-
the one that wants you, though.
Nah, but if you're Vance, you probably learned from that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that there's things that he would have done differently if he could go back to his time as head coach of the Broncos. But the other part of it is he didn't have a quarterback, and neither do they.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting.
I wouldn't sign up for another team with no quarterback.
I wouldn't either. I'm surprised that I feel like eventually we're going to reach a point where coaches don't take jobs. Like, it becomes a lot more common for coaches to just straight turn down jobs because they don't like the quarterback situation.
He did play for the Jets. That reminds me of someone in the Broncos organization that turned down jobs waiting for the right opportunity. Talking about George Payton. He was pretty much offered the Cleveland Browns job many years ago, and he said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the Browns organization. And turns out he made the right call there, waited for the Broncos job to open, took that one. And obviously, I mean, I think we should all give a lot of credit to George Payton, which we're going to do this offseason. But man, he got kicked a lot when he was down, and there were a lot of things that were probably right about that, but he deserves so much credit for helping this team get into the playoffs. And I just heard the ring. Todd, why don't you introduce our first guest of the week?
All right, I got to bring in my guy, Super Bowl 50 champion, member of the No Fly Zone, the one and only Bradley Roby. What's up, my guy? How you feeling?
What's up, man? I'm going great. How y'all?
We doing good, man. First and foremost, I got to ask, man, congratulations on your retirement. What's life at the football look like for you?
Life for football is great, man. It feels so good to just relax, not have to worry about working out and training 24/7. Sitting in meetings all day, you know what I mean? It feels good to just, still be involved in football and watch it, but can worry about my family and, my businesses and stuff like that. So, just taking it easy.
Doesn't your body feel good? I feel like I didn't know normal people could wake up and not be hurt on Monday or Tuesday. Like, those first couple months after being retired, you like, bro, this feels crazy.
Nah, it does. Because, we train our whole lives to play for 20 plus years, and it's constantly, building your body up and breaking it down. So just to have a good year of just doing nothing, man. You still got pains, I still got arthritis in my hands and all this weird stuff, but for the most part, it's all good.
All right, for sure. Well, I got to talk to you about the Broncos. They officially clinched their ticket to the playoffs in a dominating win yesterday against the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-0. First of all, what did you think about that win, and what do you think about this team headed into the playoffs?
I think that win, we all knew that was going to happen, because they set the starters and everything. So they did what they were supposed to do. And I'm pretty sure they're playing the Bills this upcoming game, and I
Yep.
think
Yeah.
that's super cool. I think Vaughn just tweeted a full circle. You know what I mean? I think that's dope that in his last few years he's a chance to try to rain on the parade. But I think it's a great season. Playing for Coach Sean Payton in New Orleans, and then seeing how he's done with Denver and how he's kind of brought us back to life. I love to see that. We were just down there with the no-fly zone a few weeks ago, and he showed a lot of love. And it's just great to see them, get back to that winning mentality that we had. How we were, Todd. We didn't lose to the Chiefs ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now it's good to finally feel like we're back competing.
Shoot, thanks to you, man. That phone recovery to the crib.
B. Mars.
Yeah, for sure. Because that game was going down to the wire. I was going down. So I think it's going to be a good opportunity for the Broncos and this young team, Bro Nix. What have you seen from this young quarterback that you've liked? I mean, he's a young rookie, but he seems like he's finding his footing in the NFL and really playing well.
Well, he's not that young. You know what I mean? He's a
That's
little,
what Noshawn always say. He a rookie, but he not young.
Neither is Jaden Daniels. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we expect these guys to come in a little bit better because they're older, more mature, especially at the quarterback position. So it's all about maturity and, discipline and stuff like that. So I think he's done great. I think he's a great pick. I didn't know he could run as good as he can. And I think that's, obvious today's game. The quarterback has to be able to run and throw. And I think that just the way he is, his personality along with Sean Payton, I think it's going to be a great combo for a lot of years to come. Honestly, I don't see why, he would be getting worse just by how Sean's going to set up the offense. He's gonna make it easy for you, because Drew Brees had some games where he was like 41 for 43, 90% completion, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So the way Sean Payton sets up his offense is it's pretty good. So I don't see him, falling off. Just keep going up.
And Bradley, thanks so much for talking with us today. And you, I think, are one of 3 people in the world to win Super Bowl 50, be a Super Bowl 50 champion, and also play for Sean Payton. Todd, sitting to my left of me, is also one of those others. I can think of Emmanuel Sanders is in that club as well. So you're in this very unique club, which is perfect for this Broncos team right now, entering the playoffs. You know Sean extremely well. What gives you confidence that Broncos are 8-point underdogs going into Buffalo? What gives you confidence of Sean being able to put together a game plan and rally this team to pull up the upset against a good Bills team?
I think he's going to do a great job just getting them ready. You know what I mean? Sean's kind of, just straight up and down guy. He's not going to lie to you. He's going to be straight up about it, treat you like a man. And that's all you can expect. And he's going to have a great game plan. He's going to have a great, first 14 plays or whatever. And then the rest of the game, I'll go off with that. But I think he'll have a great job of getting these guys ready. At the end of the day, it's a this is a surprise to me, honestly. They don't have a lot of big names over there, but Sean has motivated them and taught them the game along with the coaching staff, and he's gotten them ready. And I don't think he will not have them ready this week. I think they'll be ready. And you never know what happens in the playoffs. Everything happens in the season, but it all depends on what happens that day. And I think he'll have them ready.
Do you think that playoff games are the same as regular season games? Like when it comes to preparation, when it comes to actually playing in the game, is it just football at the end of the day, or is there some like real difference there that stands out to you?
There's a real difference for the real dudes, the real guys. For like Von Miller, it's gonna be another football game. But for all the young guys who haven't played and they kind of you lose, you go home, the pressure of that moment. If you haven't really been in that enough, you won't know it's another game, and you'll kind of start thinking too much and everything. But I definitely say it's a different season. People play harder. Every play is just a little bit faster. So it's the same game, but it's really how you mentally frame it, honestly. And that's why certain teams always win the playoffs and some teams don't.
I'm going a little bit off the Broncos here for a second, but I was curious if maybe one of your no-fly zone teammates might have gotten a text from you on New Year's Day about a different level of football.
Man, so I already was telling TJ we was gonna whoop their ass a few weeks ago because they got us a few earlier in the season, and I hit them. I was at the game, and then somebody had came over to where we were sitting and said, "Oh, I'm sitting next to TJ's mom." I'm like, "TJ's here? Tell him I'm over here." You know what I mean? I tried to text him, and the stadium didn't have any service, so I'm texting him, calling him, and he is not really going through. And I'm trying to give him the bet and everything, and come to find out he was on the sideline. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang, I was definitely down there too. So I wish I would have seen him, but he ain't got nothing to say. He went up there on Instagram trying to explain the reason why they lost. You know what I mean? It was nothing he could really say. We just didn't have it today. Like, y'all just wasn't. They look the small out there, man. Them dudes is little as hell out in Oregon, man. It's Big Ten football.
Do you ever run to old teammates from when you go to Sac State games, Todd?
No, not really.
No, never at the Sac State games?
No, it's not really any big Sac State games. It's a little different. Big Sky football,
Yeah.
Big Ten football, not the same thing.
Not quite.
All right, but Rob, I appreciate you coming on, man. I see you traveling around the world. Enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy retirement. You earned it. Have a lot of fun. Much love, bro. And we appreciate you.
Thank you, bro. See you soon.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Peace
you,
out.
Rob.
Man, thanks for joining us. Awesome. Get Todd. Way to start the week off. And that's what we're going to be
Start it
doing
off right.
this entire week. So you're not going to want to miss any of our episodes all week long. Let's talk about Roby. Let's talk about this game yesterday. Let's dive into the inside scoop after I give a shout out to our friends over at Circle K. We're over at Circle K. You can get any groceries you need. Ryan, you guys did the road trip, of course,
yeah.
with the Buffs. Did you guys just buy all of Circle K's when you went there, it seemed like?
You got to understand.
What are you trying to say?
We are.
What? I saw them on their bus. They had
Yeah.
filled the bus with Circle K stuff.
You
They had
gotta-
like 500 people.
You got to understand, we're probably one of few people in world history to even need to know if Circle K has shopping carts.
Dang.
Like, we walked in, we're like, y'all got shopping carts? They're like, no. We're like, all right, how are we going to carry all this stuff? They're like, with your hands. So we're literally like bear hugging just like chips, Red Bulls, whatever we needed to fuel us on the trip. And then the next time we went in, I found that they had like styrofoam coolers. And so then I just used that as a shopping cart
Yep.
for myself, just filled it up and put it on there.
And you got discounts because over at Circle K, if you're an Inner Circle app member, you're going to get discounts over at Circle K, including 25% or 25 cents off per gallon on your next 5 fill-ups. Plus, with that free membership, you're going to get discounts on food, drinks, and so much more. So if you're going to be filling up a shopping cart over at Circle K, you're definitely going to want the Inner Circle app. Download the Circle K app and sign up for Inner Circle for exclusive offers, new offers, purchase clubs, and sweepstakes are uploaded weekly.
Also, shout out to our friends over at LiveWell. If the chat does convince us that we need to do a 24-hour live stream leading up to the Bronco game,
Oh, the door's been opened.
if it does happen, I do think that LiveWell could make that a little bit more entertaining.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there. LiveWell's awesome. They've got a whole bunch of different perks. They know their stuff. They've got 25 convenient Colorado dispensary locations, premium selection, expert service, all that kind of stuff. And they're there to help you on your journey. So you can visit LiveWell dispensary, learn more about their wide selection of cannabis flower, edibles, concentrates, and more. They have a price match guarantee, a bunch of other perks, including if you use the code DNVR25, then you can get 25% off one regular priced item.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. Really cool to see Bradley Roby, especially with just how similar these two teams are right now. Obviously, one had Peyton Manning on his last year. The other has Bo Nix on his first year, but two great defenses, two great secondaries. And we saw the defense and Von Miller in the no-fly zone and the inside linebackers carry this Broncos defense to a Super Bowl. If the Broncos are going to do it this year, it might be a similar formula.
It's crazy to think about, man. Like, this defense obviously fell off a little bit late. But seeing them kind of get their swagger back yesterday reminds you of, like, that's what wins in these playoffs.
Yeah.
We all love Peyton Manning, but the way that Peyton Manning was playing when that team went into the playoffs in 2015 is not as good as Bo Nix is playing right now. It's crazy to say, and obviously Peyton brings so much other things to the table, but that team was able to just make plays. And, you know, I'm sure you guys all remember this, but the gauntlet of quarterbacks that they had to go through is honestly very similar to the gauntlet of quarterbacks these Broncos will have to go through if they want to make a run. But they did it because that defense showed up week in, week out, and made those great quarterbacks. It was Ben Roethlisberger. It was
Tom Brady was in there.
Tom Brady, obviously Cam Newton in the Super Bowl.
MVP Cam Newton. No, I think that was it because they had the first round bye.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So they had to go through those three and the best of Cam Newton. To do it again, they would have to go through Josh Allen. They would have to go through Patrick Mahomes, and potentially they would have to go through Lamar Jackson as well. That's just to get to the dance. But again, you have the guys and you have the quarterback, or you have the defense to potentially neutralize those guys and at least make them human.
100%. And you just mentioned it. You're talking about potentially the MVP this year. You're talking about Mahomes, who's been an MVP. You're talking about Lamar Jackson, who's been an MVP. And then Jared Goff or a great Lions team or something. It's crazy that a guy that's having as good of a season as Goff would be the easiest of those guys in the road. But it's a Von Miller type that is going to be able to neutralize those guys like he did in the Super Bowl 50 playoff run. And Nick Bonito could be that guy, and we saw him get the swagger back yesterday with 2.5 sacks. Every single game in the Super Bowl 50 run, it felt like Von was getting 2.5 sacks. That's similar position that Nick Bonito can be in to win these games.
Totally. I mean, I think that's a big piece of it is the pass rush. But I mean, you need people to make plays across the board. You look at how Marvin Mims is playing right now.
Yeah.
Could he be a breakout performer in these playoffs? Like, could Jaleel be that guy? Because that's what it's going to come down to. You need your stars. You need Pat and Zach Allen and all those guys to just go be themselves. But for the Broncos to actually make a run here, hopefully it's Nick Bonito who solidifies himself as like a playoff pass rusher.
Yeah.
But you just need some of those young guys to step up and kind of. We've seen it before. I mean, Gabe Davis. Remember what Gabe Davis was before that playoff run?
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Like Sony Michel had a decent run with the Patriots one year. But there's that list of guys who just kind of turn it on at the right time, and that's what it's going to take for the Broncos.
And how did the Broncos knock off Tom Brady? They hit him, I think, 24 times. It was a career high. And how'd that feel, Todd?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I bet it did. So let's
Did you get
dive.
one of those?
Maybe not that game.
Okay.
Other games, though.
Yeah, for sure. Other
Oh, well,
games.
remember you said you got an official sack on him, and the stats don't have it as an official sack?
Yeah, they played me.
And there's
But it's
literally
okay.
a picture of you sacking him to the ground, and it's not in the official
Well, it's like
stats.
Vaughn had a hand on him or something. I was scared of Vaughn.
No, they called it like a run. But
Oh,
Tom Brady ran
He's
the
not
ball. Come
running
on, let's be
anywhere.
honest.
Design Tom Brady run.
So,
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Some
got
exciting
played.
stuff behind the scenes happening right now, so you're not going to want to miss the rest of this week. But my favorite segment of the show, we're going to dive into it right now. Todd's going to look at yesterday's game and see how the Broncos can use that going forward into next week's game against the Bills. So without further ado, Todd, take us into the inside scoop.
Absolutely. So this is the first drive for the Denver Broncos. And what I love most about yesterday's game is the creativity that I saw from Sean, I saw from Bo at times. Everybody was trying to make plays. I think Sean was putting them in great positions to make plays. So we got a pistol formation here. Usually that means a designed run or a quarterback run. But the Broncos are going to have a lot of moving parts that are going to keep this defense on their heels. So they're going to motion Marvin Mims in the play. They're going to flash back with Troutman. They're going to orbit motion with the receiver here. So they're going to have a lot of eye candy for this defense to try and keep their eyes on, whether that's man or zone. It's hard to understand, okay, do I need to fall back? Do I need to go forward? Where do I need to be for my new gap? And then man-to-man, you just got a lot of guys crossing, trying to find their man. So this corner's going to go back. The safety's trying to rotate down to account for Marvin Mims. He's going to fake the ball to the running back. Then he's going to fake the ball to Franklin. I mean, there's so much going on this one play, and it's a great job of Sean Payton being able to create so much confusion that now you get Quinn Miners one-on-one with a linebacker, and you're going to get your star stud playmaker, Marvin Mims, the football in space, and I see it's nothing but green grass. And I think that's all from the creativity of the play, and then also having playmakers that can take this pass that is about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and take it to the house.
Man, it was so clear yesterday that the players, especially after the first drive and all went well on both sides, were just having fun the rest of the game and playing loose. And especially Sean Payton was coaching loose, and he was coaching for fun, and he needs to use that going forward. He cannot be tight, and he can't be questioning himself. Go be Sean Payton. Go do what makes you great, and just making crazy play designs, and take that into play design, but also take it into going for 2 points at a game. He was aggressive yesterday. Be aggressive again next week. Carry that forward, because I loved what I saw yesterday.
Todd, especially on a play like this, I feel like these two things are constantly battling in football. And just to simplify it, can you explain what it means when you tell a linebacker to read your keys?
So reading your keys is basically you start with the triangle, which is like the guard, center guard to the running back. So you want to be able to read your keys to be able to tell you where the football is going. But right now, within this play, all your keys will be lying to you.
Yep.
They're telling you that this ball is probably going to the running back, and then you see the way the line is flowing. Okay, now it's probably going to Troy Franklin, and all those keys are wrong. So you try to read your keys, you try to trust the process, but when a good play designer puts together a play like this, all your keys could be telling you the wrong direction to go.
But what I love about it is that it starts with, like, the idea is let's just get Quinn Miners blocking in space for Marvin Mims.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what we want to do here. Great idea. And then you find out all these other things to do to make sure that the idea works.
Yep.
And especially when you're going up against guys who maybe haven't been on the field as much, you know, as a coach, especially as an offensive play caller, these guys are going to be hungry to make plays. Mm-hmm. So they're going to see these little keys, and that's going to tell them, okay, go here, go there. And they're going to want to get there, and they're going to want to be trying to play, with anticipation and all of that to make sure that they can go out there and make plays. And this design by Sean Payton is just taking advantage of all of that, of all these guys who want to go out there and kind of make a statement, show something to the rest of the NFL.
Absolutely. All right, here's the next play. This is a little bit of creativity that I saw from Bo Nix. This play did not count, but nonetheless, I want to see more of it. This was a great job. Bo has a clean pocket, but unfortunately, everybody's covered up downfield. So, young man, you got to do what you got to do. Use your legs. Get out the pocket. Show your speed. He's been doing a great job of it the last couple of weeks, getting back into that rhythm of running the football when everybody's covered. He gets downfield, puts together a good run, about 25 yards, and decides to pitch the ball here to Javonte. Pitch the ball. It's the playoffs, man. There's nothing to lose. If we can find a way to win this game, if we can find a way to beat the Bills on the road, if we can make some splash plays to win this game, make the plays. And I love it here. Do it. This is when it's really backyard football. You're having a good time. You're so locked in that it seems effortless, that it's not a bonehead play. It just feels right because I'm so in tune with the zone that I need to be in to play this game. I'm just going to pitch this ball. And so it did not count, but I think this was a great play from Bo Nix. I want to see more of it in the playoffs.
I love that. And we found out from Bo Nix, or what Bo Nix found out about himself, he's too damn fast to pitch the ball back, because if he was going slower, it wouldn't have been a forward pass. How far back does a guy have to be for it not to be a forward pass? He is literally 4 yards behind him when he pitches this ball, and it still was a forward pass because they were going so fast.
Yeah, I think this invokes the theory of relativity.
Yeah.
No way, you made that up.
No. I think it does, because he's moving so fast, and then he didn't counter his own speed enough by the speed that he pitched it backwards. Then the ball moved forward. It's just science stuff.
It
just
is
science.
Yeah.
Is that
one of those
basic
laws.
third grade?
No,
It's one of like the Newton's laws of physics.
Objects in motion tends to stay in motion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like that thing where it's like if you're on a train and you like reach your arm out the window with like a tennis ball and you throw the tennis ball.
No, never heard that one.
Well, because then it'll go because that tennis ball goes as fast as you can throw the ball, plus as fast as the train is going, because that's helping.
But only for a short period of time because there's a lot of air resistance.
Exactly. Exactly.
Look at us.
Who knew?
The point is, he's behind him when he throws the ball, but what matters is where you throw it from and where he is when he catches it.
We have to stop this though. We have to just say like the spirit of the play was that the ball went backwards. I don't care that it technically went forward.
Yes.
The player was behind him and he pitched it backwards.
Yep.
Which
he clearly did.
Yes, that should be considered a backwards pass. We don't need to go and review things like this.
I think that it's good that this happened in this game and not next week. And I don't know. This offseason, you can sign Bo up for some physics classes, and hopefully he like learns a couple more of these things, because the idea is great.
Wow.
But I think that, Javonte now knows maybe take another step backward, and then all of a sudden it'll work next week.
Yeah, I mean, science aside, I'm with Todd on the sense of like, you're so in the zone, you're so locked in, you're so comfortable out on the field that you make a play like this. Everyone wants to, just be all over it every time Patrick Mahomes makes a play like this.
Yep.
The reason Patrick Mahomes makes plays like this is because his leash is so long.
Yep.
He doesn't, if it goes wrong, which I can't remember a time where it even did, if it goes wrong, no one's going to be like, wow, this guy sucks. And he plays so comfortable because he can just get away with it. He can throw left-handed passes. He can throw behind the back pass. He can do all of this stuff because he's just so comfortable on the field. Bo making that play tells me he's not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of what's going to happen to him if something goes wrong. He knows it's going to work because that's his guy.
And you know what? Sean Payton has done a masterful job of giving Bo this long leash and making sure he knows he has this long leash. When Bo goes out and throws interceptions after the game, Sean says, "No, that was on me." And you guys roll your eyes, but it's Sean's giving him this long leash and letting him know publicly, look, kid, you can't do anything wrong in my eyes. You go out and you go make plays. And so I think that's another reason why Bo is doing this, because he has the full support and he knows he has the full support of Sean.
I'm just glad that they didn't say after the game that it should have counted because it was cool, like the Travis Kelce pitch last year.
Oh yeah,
you just let it go. You don't go and whine and throw a big fit about it.
It's not that it's cool that it shouldn't have counted. It should have counted. It's just that in the spirit, spiritually, it went backwards.
It did, very much so.
Yeah,
but according to Newton's third law, it
one
didn't.
of them.
Yeah,
somebody in the chat has to know the answer. Ooh, I wonder if Bill Nye will be a guest on our show.
Oh,
call him in just to ask him this question.
Now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bill Nye, he might be out of the game.
Sounds like he has some free time.
Bill
There's
Nye
no way.
new guy?
Those laws don't change. The laws of physics have been around for forever.
I'm just saying, Bill Nye's passed the torch on to some TikTokers.
TikTokers.
I don't know TikTokers.
I think there's a guy named Hank Green. You can hit him up. You guys
lives in Missoula.
You can bond on the Hank thing.
Lives in Missoula.
Or should we bring Ryan Green?
You can bond on the Hank thing.
Ryan Green, and then we have Hank Green.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's jump back to
I wonder
the
if they'll
defense.
dress like us.
All right, we talked about the offense a little bit, so this is what we're going to need from our defense. You talk about Josh Allen, his ability to extend plays. Well, when you play great defense, you get a body on a body. Everybody's in man coverage here with a whole player. If we can get Josh Allen to pat the football here, but also have great coverage downfield, I think it's going to give our dominant pass rush time to get home. And I feel like that's what we need to do. So the whole player here acts as like a spy player. So you're protecting the middle of the field, but you also have the ability to attack Josh Allen if he starts to scramble. And in that time, you create a little bit of hesitancy in him, and he's still looking downfield. That gives just enough time for guys like Nick Venito, Jonathan Cougar, JFM to be able to get home. And I feel like that's what we have to do to Josh Allen. We have to neutralize him by making him hesitant to run, and then when he does pat the football, give just enough time for our pass rushers to get home and make a big play.
I love it. And Josh Allen obviously is the second best runner in the NFL from quarterback perspective. And Carson Wentz is also mobile. And the people that were nervous going into this last game kept saying, oh, remember, Carson Wentz was an MVP at one point. He might come out and shred the Broncos defense. And those people need to remember how well the Broncos defense has played against them. Obviously, whole different stratosphere where with Josh Allen's at, but the Broncos did a fantastic job against Carson Wentz. In the first quarter, Carson Wentz and the Chiefs offense had one first down, and it was to a questionable PI that happened. So Broncos need to take a similar approach, and they kind of got an idea of how Josh Allen will play yesterday.
I think that was one of the easiest shutouts I've ever seen, though.
Yeah.
The defense was stressed very rarely.
Very,
Yeah. It was just this one drive.
Yeah.
This was the only time they really had a chance to score.
There was a missed field goal.
Yep. Todd, one more thing. So Benito goes inside there, and it kind of looks like he might have gotten held and kind of thrown inside. When you have somebody spying at linebacker, can you let Benito go inside, like rush inside because you have somebody contained?
That's not really talked about. Like, your rush needs to be cohesive enough to not let the quarterback escape regardless of who you have behind you. So the front four and how they rush is not really talked about in regards to, like, you have an extra spy player that can cover for you. Like, if you guys are running games up front, all your games need to amount to the quarterback staying in the pocket. And if that guy leaks out, that's on you. Yep. But, of course, in this play, they do have another body, but we don't talk about it as far as, like, a safety valve.
Cool.
Great
All
question.
right. Next play right
Great
here.
answer.
So this is what I need to see from Bo Nix. I think Sean Payton, do a great job of giving Bo Nix some pre-snap motion right here so he can know, okay, is it man or zone? What am I seeing? Who's traveling with my wide receivers? And then once he knows and understands, he knows and can dissect plays very well. So, give him a clean pocket. Let him have a little bit of time to sit back there and dissect, whether it's man or zone, one-on-one, where the safeties are sitting at. And I think when he does have that time and he sets his feet, I mean, look at his feet right here. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
The transfer of weight, his momentum, what other scientific words can I use to...
He pivoted.
Kinetic energy.
The kinetic energy he's
Oh,
applying
yeah.
into the
Potential
ground
energy.
right
Yes.
now is allowing for him to make throws like this. And so when he makes throws where he's able to, split the corner that's one-on-one and the safety, we need guys like Vele to go up and make a big play. So this is Bo Nix throwing the football well with a clean pocket, setting his feet. And then also we're going to need 1 or 2 or 3 plays from our wide receivers where, hey, you're just going to have to go up and get the football, make a great catch, and help Bo out because he's making a great throw.
There's a couple plays each game that elicit this reaction out of me, and this was the one yesterday where I was sitting downstairs with Ryan Green, Allie, Tori, Ryan's sister, and after that throw, I just turned to them and I just said, guys, he's really good. Like, he's actually really good. It's not a mirage. It's not a false positive. This isn't, a Tim Tebow situation.
Oh, man.
Bo Nix is really good. And when he makes plays like that, it just it's so comforting.
Well, and that is because there's 2 guys in the area. He can't throw it too short because there's a defender below him, and he can't throw it too high because there's a defender over top, and he puts it right in the perfect spot right there. And I got to say, this Broncos wide receiver position, Courtland Sutton, obviously, we know the 6-game stretch he had. We know how good he can be. He had a great game yesterday. But Vele and Marvin Mims are changing this, and the conversation needs to start changing from, man, the Broncos have a very underwhelming wide receiver room to they might have something just with this room right here moving forward. They still might add to the position, but
Need to.
Devon Vele, you throw the ball to Devon Vele, he is catching it. He makes every single catch.
You could throw it to someone else and he might catch it.
Exactly. The crazy thing about that, Bo said after the game that Vele ran the wrong route on that, and he said, but I'm happy he did because he never gave up on the play, made the catch in the back of the end zone. And then Marvin Mims. Guys, we're talking about Marvin Mims with back-to-back 2-touchdown games. He is literally unstoppable right now. If he carries that could be the spark that the Broncos need to take this offense over the top and be able to put up 35, 40 points against the Bills defense that the Broncos might have to do this week to win this game.
Yeah. Like I said before, like if you're making a run this year, somebody on the team is becoming like a dude. Somebody is now like Pro Bowl level, whether it's like, even if it's Drew Sanders, just out of nowhere, you let him rush, and he gets 2 sacks this week, you keep riding with it. That's really your only path to winning 4 games is
guys becoming stars.
And
Guys
Mims
becoming
is
dudes.
probably the top of that list right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you just look at the past 2 games. In the past 2 games, he has 13 catches on 13 targets. He's hauling in every single pass that's thrown his way. 154 total receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, including some crazy catches.
And that doesn't even include returns.
Yep, exactly. Where he leads the NFL in return average as well. Pro Bowl returner right there. So, yeah.
That would be a good topic for this week of just for the Broncos to make a run, choose a player to become a star.
Yeah.
I honestly think Zach Allen is probably high in that category as well. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, he's a guy who has balled out most of his career, and still I don't think the average football fan knows who he is.
Totally. And even because like even the really good players can't take a step. And that's what Vaughn did. Everybody knew Vaughn was one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. You carry a team to a Super Bowl, all of a sudden you go from that to one of the all-time best pass rushers.
I mean, he basically went from really, really great pass rusher to first ballot Hall of Famer in the stretch of 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's just been living a pretty great life for the 8, 9, the decade since.
So then I have
Good
a
for him.
question for you guys. When we look at this team and take that same Von Miller where he was right before Super Bowl 50, is that where Pat Surtain is now, or is Pat above where he is? Because I already view Pat as like, you just keep doing what you're doing, you're a first ballot future Hall of Famer right there.
No, I think you could say there's some. I can't say that. Pat, like Vaughn was, it was very well known that Vaughn was the best pass rusher in the NFL.
Yeah.
Before he made that run.
So then what we're talking about is whether it's this year, whether it's next year, Pat could have a similar playoffs where we're talking about 3 picks, 2 pick sixes, 4 picks,
Yeah,
a pick 6 in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vaughn had already had a defensive player of the year caliber season. So he was in that conversation. But you're right, Pat, if he were to do that, let's just say he has 2 picks of Josh Allen on Sunday and the Broncos advance,
Yep.
then he has another pick against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that Vaughn was doing.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy to say now. The only difference would be the Broncos are going to be much bigger underdogs in these games.
Yeah.
But that's the type of thing that you do where you go from, okay, this guy's really good, everyone kind of accepts it, to no, he is one of the biggest game changers in the league.
Yep,
And
100%.
You've hit the point in the season where nobody's going to be scared of him. You know,
Yeah.
Josh Allen, the playoff quarterbacks don't say, like, I'm not throwing at Pat. That's something that, you know, whoever the
No, they
Panthers
do.
head coach says
They
to
do.
Bryce. Really?
Yeah, for sure.
You think Josh Allen will just throw the other way? I think they might say
For a
we're picking on this
majority.
guy, but I don't think they're scared.
I think that they are. I think they're smart. If you make it to the playoffs, you're usually a smart team. I don't think all that just goes out the window. And you're like, "F, we're in the playoffs. We can do whatever we want." Like you still remember who you're playing against, and you're not going to want to try and throw to Pastor Tan's side too many times.
Also, I mean, just look at the last time the Broncos played an elite quarterback, Joe Burrow. He did exactly what Todd said. It's not like he never threw his way, but he said, "Oh, Riley Moss, welcome back.
Well,
I'm going to pick on you
They were
constantly."
throwing to Jamar a little bit early, though.
They were, and it didn't work.
That's true.
But
In part because of some missed throws, but it didn't work.
Joe Burrow has a huge advantage, which is the other guy is still really, really good as a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. That's the one thing that the Broncos have going for them, at the very least this week, and then it would carry over into the next game as well. Is like there's no Jamar Chase T Higgins combination that you're gonna have to face.
But with the Bills, it's not like there's a 1 and then a huge drop off to the 2. Not really. They're kind of all on an equal playing field. So
Which probably helps Josh Allen to say, well,
I'm not throwing ball.
I don't have
Pat's
to force
way.
it towards Pat's side because I don't have a guy over there.
Yep, exactly. Man, one other guy, when you guys are talking about this, and we're talking about guys that could take that next step, what if it is Bo Nix? And he takes that next step from a historic, great rookie season. He just had the 2nd most passing touchdowns of any rookie in NFL history. Think about that, how crazy that is right now.
Well, this is a conversation we had on the post-game show last night, where I think it was Jarrell asked, like, how long until Bo Nix becomes one of those guys that's feared?
That was me.
Sorry.
Thank you. Just want to give myself a little credit.
Todd threw it out. How long until Bo Nix is one of those guys that's feared? You know, Joe Burrow is feared. And I said it could happen soon. And it could literally happen this week. If Bo Nix goes out and somehow, you know, he doesn't have to statistically outduel Josh Allen, but if he plays really well and the Broncos beat the Bills, immediately it's like, oh, so he's like that?
You
know?
On
And
the
that's an
road.
opportunity for him. And honestly, the biggest opportunity he's had to show that this year was probably in that Chiefs game when he had the ball and he had a chance to go win the game, and he did.
He did.
And then they didn't finish it off. But, like, what if Bo also has the clutch gene?
Yep.
and is able to go and raise his game in the playoffs.
And then he has an opportunity to do it against Josh Allen on the road. He has an opportunity to do it against Patrick Mahomes on the road. He has an opportunity to do it against Lamar Jackson on the road. And if it goes that far, then in the Super Bowl as well, then we're talking about he is feared in a month from now for the next 10, 15 years. I'm excited to continue this conversation. We got 2 more things to do. I knew there was one thing I was missing that we're doing this week. We want to bring back some of the what brought this show to be this show in the past. And we've had so many tremendous commenters, and now so many of you guys have joined us in the Toyota live chat over the past year or two, and we really appreciate all of you. We're going to get to the super chats in a second, but when we started this thing, we had people commenting on our website because we didn't have a live chat that was going on, and we would have Ryan, I think one day we had 60, 70 chats in a day.
Yeah.
And we would
used to read them all.
We'd read them all, and they would be awesome. And that's part of the community that I know is still there. And we want to go back to one of the OGs, the Count.
Yes.
And he has reached out to us.
Yes, the Count has reached out. The Count says, "My gents, 'twas many moons ago, 2013 to be exact, when Noshawn let weep from his eyes the tears of a crocodile. That game was against the Chiefs, and yet this time it was all of us likely wiping water from our playoff drought-ridden eye sockets, while No stayed ever stoic and unwilling to accept his job offer as a royal guard to the franchise and new moniker as Boshan. Also welcome number 99 to the DNVR fam. He believes." That same year, Todd blocked a kick in college. Ask him about it. Well, we'll pause here. What do you remember about that blocked kick?
No memory at all.
You don't remember it at all?
At all. I don't know what
You
he's talking
just did
about.
it too many times, or what?
I don't even know who it was against. I don't remember.
Okay,
nothing.
instead of asking Todd about it, we'll ask the Count about it. I wonder if the
That's
Count could find
hilarious.
video. Those would be tough videos to find because that was back before like
Sac State.
ESPN Plus.
They probably had Huddle, though. You still got that?
No, there wasn't Huddle then.
Really?
Bro,
Well,
we're
we
talking
weren't
like
on it, yeah.
2013.
Yeah, that would be like 2013. Yeah.
But that's when I was in college. And my roommate who was on the team had Huddle or whatever service they have.
Continuing on,
No, I don't think so.
Todd blocked a kick in college, forced 2 fumbles, and had 2 interceptions, en route to leading the Big Sky Conference in
2
tackles
picks.
with 131.
Yes, sir, baby.
Hank and Zach were careening towards their soon-to-come daily rivalries, though they knew it not. RK was likely celebrating a Buffs 41-24 victory over the Cal Golden Bears. Do you remember that game? 2013.
Yes. Yep. I remember that, if I remember correctly, the Buffs had a onside that Cal attempted an onside kick that the Buffs returned for a touchdown.
Wow. Didn't
that-
even play in the game. Remembers the play.
That's
Blocked
why.
a kick.
That's why I don't remember.
Maybe bounced off his head or something. And
Was that Jared Goff?
just after?
Right, I think it's right after
Just
Jared
after.
Goff.
Okay.
And I, of course, was waking up from a decade's sleep to the thunderous roar of Broncos country as they began their meandering spoor towards the 2015 title. All of this is but a whisper in my long and infinite story, and I've slept much since, of course, save my daily dose of DNVR pods, much to the chagrin of my crypt mates. This has been a wild ride as an undead Broncos fan, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you all. Congrats to the OGs, including, but not limited to, Iceman, Nashville Bronco, Burrito/Nacho Brad, and that guy who always got mad at obscure websites that championed odd and unfounded Broncos
LDJ.
takes.
Yes.
Let us bleeping Bo love the Count.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
awesome. Yes.
Shout out the Count. Shout out to all of our OGs. And it's TJ Wilmot in the Toyota chat who's been riding with us. Says, so we're going to talk about The Bachelor and how peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are the only meal you can eat for a day. Maybe
Squirrel week.
we'll get into some very fun talk this
Squirrel
week.
Week was the best content.
Rivers, Lakes, Oceans.
Exactly.
Lakes, rivers, oceans.
We got a whole week to talk about it. And
Send in
if you
comments,
guys
yes.
want to join in on the conversation, go to thednvr.com, just like you guys did in the past. Drop
email
your
me.
comments. What?
Or email me. It's the Count did.
Or
Either
you can
way.
email
Either
Henry,
way.
or we can do it the old school way. Drop the questions on the website, and then we'll try to get to as many as we can. But we got some super chats that we need to hit really quick.
If Iceman is out there,
Yes.
hit us up.
We'd love to hear from you,
Yes.
Iceman. Mile High Sing says, please use the SC to buy some Snickers for Noshawn because he needed one. Homie was a vibe killer. Shout out to DNVR. Been with you all since BSN LFB.
Can I speak on this for just one quick second?
Go.
Yes.
I thought that made for great content. I thought us going back and forth and, like ribbing No Sean for his takes made for good content.
I love it.
Mega Dr. Dre says Bo Nix versus Von Miller. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be awesome to see Von out there. It's going to be bittersweet for a lot of Broncos fans. And man, is it poetic that the first time the Broncos are in the playoffs, they're playing since Super Bowl 50, they're playing their Super Bowl 50 MVP. And speaking of Von, stay tuned for this week, everyone. We got something up our sleeve. Willie Thomas says, subscriber for 8 years, BSN days, Madden League, all the bad years. So happy for Zach. Been performing the intro song and grinding on the beat for a decade. In my honest opinion, the best Broncos reporter in the game. Thank you so much, Willie. That means a ton. Especially the comment about all of us, and you've been rocking with us for a decade now. We all deserve this. You guys deserve this. As Bo Nix said, he ran around the stadium after the game high-fiving fans, and he said, he was asked why did he do it. He said, the fans deserve this. They've been in it. They deserve it so much. He gets it.
He did a pretty good job of pulling his hand back every time there was a Chiefs fan.
Yeah. What brilliant.
See, I would have gone clockwise so that I'd be using my left hand and kind of keep the throwing hand safe.
Right.
Broncos fans are
not fatigued.
Oh, wow. He did say he was
It's
fatigued
harder
after
to
running
hold your
around the
left hand
stadium.
up that long, though.
That's a good point.
It's a hand that doesn't matter as much.
Ken says 5.5 win total, smashed, playoff bound. Come on, man, young and hungry. We making gains this week. All about aboard the hype train. Let's go, and that's what this week is all about. Let's bring the hype in the Toyota chat, in the super chats, and we're gonna round out with the final one from Nate Ace, who says, "Yo, they killing No Sean, but shout out the squad for finally covering a playoff game. Killed it this year." Thank you, Nate, and shout out to RK for joining us all week. Shout out to Henry for killing it this year. Todd, we love what you bring to the show, and shout out to you here as well. And shout out to everyone. You guys deserve this so much, and we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. You're not going to want to miss a single minute this week. Thank you. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.